This is the It's My Time podcast with Asher Tchoua.
Welcome to the podcast.
Well, that's surprising. That's surprising and it's dope at the same time. So grateful, man. What's going on, my brother?
Doing good. How are you?
Man, doing good, man. Doing good. Enjoying this Sunday afternoon in Central Florida. It's a little rainy outside, but we'll take it.
Nice. Is that where you're located?
Yeah. So Orlando.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
So, yeah, man. Just living the dream, man, in this tropical weather right now.
Awesome. I
Yeah,
almost feel
man.
like this is a behind the scene episode.
Yeah.
We'll finally get to hear from the voice.
Yeah. That'll be fun, man. That'll be fun. So, what's going on, brother? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Week's been productive. What do you call it? Like the middle of the year, it's kind of like that plateau type phase, but kind of getting over that, doing my best to do some physical activity, just go walking, just be like, okay, get up, morning routine, just do the small things, not really looking to do more things, but just staying consistent. So the
Yeah.
week's been good.
Yeah, 100%, man. We are, what do we have, 5 more months left in the year, something like that. So it's crazy how fast time goes by, man. It does not seem like the year is almost done.
Right.
It just doesn't, man. It's crazy. So, but we'll take it, man. Blessings for sure.
Awesome. Well, I'll ask you the question that I like to ask everybody. Donald, who do you say you are?
Who do I say I am? Man, so Donald Gadson Jr. I professionally am a voiceover artist, podcast producer, editor, video editor. I enjoy serving creatives, business owners, coaches, consultants, speakers with my gift professionally. So that's kind of who I am in terms of what I do day to day. But married to an amazing woman, father of one. And love, man, being able to offer the gift of whether it be my voice, whether it be my creativity, man, to the world, to help people unleash their gift upon the world. So that's kind of my little synopsis, my brother.
Awesome, man. How has this new year been for you, 2021, and what was 2020 like for you?
Yeah, so 2020 was, for a lot of people, it was a tough year. For me, it was perhaps one of the best years of my life because I really had to buckle down and focus on a number of different things. But one of which was previous to that, a year previous to that, I had left a career of teaching for almost a decade and went into full-time business doing what I do now. And so I had to quickly adapt and learn how to run a business. And then at that time, my wife resigned from her job at the top of the year before COVID hit. And so I learned how to, at the same time, man, learn what it meant to be the sole provider, in our house in that season. And so for me, man, I experienced personal growth that still to this day, man, that I continue to build on that foundation that was laid last year. 2021 has been the continuation of that, learning how to manage business, home life, personal development, spiritual walk with the Lord, a number of different things all at once. And so I feel like 2021, as we're recording this August the 1st, there's some talk about potential lockdown again, which is crazy. But I think, man, just from a focus standpoint, I feel like I was blessed to be in the number of people who were able to count 2020 as a year where they learned what it meant to have extreme focus because of the external environment. And so it put them in a position to focus on the things that potentially they didn't have time or didn't want to focus on before. So yeah, man, that's kind of how I'll wrap up my 2020 and now into 2021. And so kind of like you said before, the plateau, I feel like I'm learning what it means to not just have a business, but then to also manage a business. And so I am going through this phase, man, where I'm having to to pull back in different areas of the business in order to learn how to scale in other areas. And so for the long haul, and doing voiceover in particular, you know, it takes a lot. It takes a lot vocally, and also because I'm really in it in terms of creatively. I see how last year for me was learning how to become more efficient at the craft, whereas this year is about stewarding my body better, stewarding my gift better. And so yeah, man, that's kind of how I would give a succinct story about what 2020 was for me and where we are now.
Awesome. I know you mentioned you were in education before as a teacher. What is it that you taught?
Yeah. Hold on one second, Asher. I feel like I'm dark. Hold on one second. It's bothering me.
Oh,
sorry. Video guy. Hold on.
Got you.
All right. That's a little bit better.
Got you. Okay.
That's a little bit better. So, yeah. So I taught middle school history, English, and Bible. It was a private Christian school, and yeah, man, just great years of my life. Tough years because if I'm candid about it, I walked through a lot of doors that were just open to me. And whenever you're in a position where you are an exception, certain things are given to you easily, and so I think, and I see how that in a lot of ways, in terms of personal development and personal growth, I was at a standstill for a number of years, Asher. And so I think, professionally, man, like loved working with kids, loved teaching kids, and in particular, like, as there was a Christian based education school, I love like walking kids through some of the dynamics of faith and belief, and wrestling through, how faith and real life intersect and speaking to that. So yeah, man, that's what the middle school years of Mr. G was. So yeah, it was cool, man. It was cool.
Awesome. So that was your moniker. The kids would call you by Mr. G.
Yeah, they call me Mr. G, man. So it was a very man, cool years, man. Cool years. Middle school is, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, bro, how did you do it? It's a tough age. True, it is. But man, what an amazing season of life to have an impact on young people, because they're still babyish in a lot of ways emotionally, but then they're also going through puberty and they're trying to figure out who they are and identity stuff. Right. So yeah, man, just fun times, man. Great stories as you can imagine. So yeah, man.
Awesome. So then I know you with podcasting, like you mentioned, you're a producer. You've produced your own personal podcast in the past. Like what got you into podcasting? Like, what helped you make that leap?
Yeah, so that was around, I want to say 2015. Let me see, my daughter was born in 2016, so 2014, 2015. It was called, or it's still up. It's called the Black Daddy Podcast. We haven't done an episode in years and years and years, but it was me kind of talking with my wife about the journey to being a Black father, and then it kind of morphed into us talking about marriage and debt freedom and all things of what it's like to be a young at that time. I mean, we're still young. We're only in our mid 30s, but what it was like to be a young Black couple walking through all things, family, faith, and finances. And so that kind of gave me the bug, man, for audio production through the means of podcasting. And then kind of mixing that with the voiceover world, I kind of learned this skill set on the fly that I didn't have to prop up with actual like competence, and learning the ins and outs of, production and EQing and sound design and different things like that, man. So, but yeah, man, that was a fun season, man, for us to do podcasts, and then that then turned into a family YouTube channel that we still have to today. I was just vlogging about, daily life, talking about, what we do and sharing with the world, and kind of giving a candid look into who we are, which was like, again, like another personal development process as well, man, like learning how to be transparent and struggling with that. And also knowing how to creatively channel some of that into helping others, you know what I'm saying, if they were to tune in and watch. So cool stuff there as well.
Awesome. And I guess when you mention about being like transparent, is that something you set out to show people from the get-go, or is that something that kind of developed through the process of saying like, hey, let's do this thing and kind of talk through it?
Yeah, man, for me it was a process for sure. It still is a process in terms of I think, especially in our social media age, I think that sometimes like discretion can be a struggle. You're like, how much do you share, But I think because I was doing it with my wife, one thing that, man, my girl is very, very, like, one of her superpowers is, hey, like, saying what she thinks, what she believes, and that for me, man, in a very honest way, I kind of got into this like performance thing, where I felt like I had to portray a certain thing, which then created a lot of confusion internally, because it was like, man, okay, like there's a little bit of incongruency here. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a certain way that I know that I can be, that I desire to be, right? And I know that like people are watching. So like I know that there's a certain way that you have to kind of play to, you know what I'm saying, like the audience. And so I think for me, man, like I continue to learn, man, like what that's like, authenticity, transparency. And also I would even throw in like vulnerability, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that it's a continued process, man. And I think that, again, 2020 was also for me because I went through a lot of counseling, a lot of coaching, and had to deal with a lot of things as it relates to just that, man, identity and image. And I'll say, man, that it's been a really cool, humbling, refining process to learn how to just be, and how to be secure in just that and being, you know what I'm saying? And how if you need to kind of take a step back from things, then you do that because that's what your soul requires, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, man, it's been a process for sure.
Awesome. I guess that one of the things that kind of prompted me to want to have this conversation with you on the podcast platform is that with being on the production side, doing a lot of editing and things like that, how do you not lose yourself in the process, like listening to so many conversations a week?
So I think the first tool that I used was in the morning, early in the morning, man, like having meditation and quiet time, prayer time, where there's just stillness. Because all day, every day, I have stuff in my ears, stuff coming through my gates, you know what I'm saying? And so kind of giving myself that baseline, you know what I'm saying, of stillness has been so invaluable for me as one. I think two, I'm still not good at stepping away and taking small breaks, man. If I'm honest, I think just the sheer volume of stuff that I touch weekly, for me, it's been about, and again, because I'm running a business, you know what I'm saying, like based on my output, right? I've seen how I'm still growing through that, how to truly like step back a little bit and let things breathe, how to go for a walk, come back, you know what I'm saying, how to play with my daughter, like pop in on my wife, like bother her, you know what I'm saying, just kind of like do things to really shake things up. But from a content standpoint, hearing so much, man, throughout the week, if I'm honest, man, I have been grateful for the opportunity because I don't think we've ever been at a more empowering time in history where literally based on your personality, your choice of faith, your background, whatever, like you can find someone, a group of people, a couple, an organization that has a story and that has a sequence of ideas that can help you get to your next level, right? And so for me, I found a lot of appreciation in being able to help others find what they're looking for through the means of what I'm touching in terms of a production aspect, right? And so I think I don't lose myself because I have that foundation of stillness.
Mhm.
I build in some functional things in terms of like stepping away, you know what I'm saying, and kind of and doing a hard reset. But then three, I think, like I said, man, gratitude, just having a lot of gratitude for what I get the chance to do every single day.
Mhm. Awesome. The I guess what's one thing that stands out to you as you listen to a lot of the clients that you deal with, like either myself or many of the others that you've come in contact with? Is there like a common theme with the people that you interact with on a regular basis?
Yeah, yeah. So I would say, man, 80% of us top podcast clients, 80% of them are in the business entrepreneurship space. And of the 80%, I would say, man, upwards of 70-75% of them are specifically like in like the Black wealth space, right?
Mm.
Um, and that's also, man, because, you know, a lot of my experience professionally was in a upper middle class Caucasian, you know what I'm saying, persuasion.
Mhm.
And so for me, coming out of that world and to be exposed to so much Black excellence was just so dope, man. So dope. And I've learned a lot, man. I've learned a lot about the ways in which, even personally, the ways in which from an entrepreneurial aspect, business aspect, how being a Black business owner, entrepreneur is so empowering. It's so empowering because there was a time where, you know, where opportunity just wasn't as wide open as it is now. One, and then I think two, if I just talk about like the It's My Time podcast, I remember us talking, you know, a couple of years ago at this point. You know, one of the things that's so refreshing about this podcast is that, and I told you, I was like, man, like, there's really nobody doing what you do in terms of like talking to everyday people and giving them a platform and giving them a spotlight to talk about whatever they want to talk about. And for you to give like, you know, this atmosphere of having a candid conversation about where they are and kind of how they're working through life, regardless of what the ups and downs are. Um, that's super refreshing. And so as a creative at heart, I think it's dope, man. I think it's dope. And so I think, you know, out of all the clients that I have, I definitely have to say that like that the common theme is forward progression and being true to who you are and also being true to the process that you're going through in order to become who you desire to be.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Oh, got a funny one for you. I guess the first time I ever heard your voice, I was thinking to myself, I was like, is that your regular speaking voice, or
Yeah.
is that just like the performance voice? But like as we
Yeah.
keep talking, I'm like, no, I guess that's his regular
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, you can kind of place it in different ways and you can, you know what I'm saying? You can make it higher or lower, whatever the case is, or
Right.
more expressive or, you know, giving it more diction or, I mean, you know, but,
But like the
um,
the the bass in your voice, I'm
yeah,
like, man, that's there's strength and there's like power
yeah.
behind that. I'm like, man,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
dope.
man. It's me, man. It's me. This is me. I'm not here. I'm not here. Yeah, man. It's what's so funny, man, is that I remember being, you know, 11, 12 years old, and whenever puberty hit, you know, and you start to get girls phone numbers and stuff, I would call girls' houses, and the mom and dad would be like, "How old are you again?" It's like I'm 12, 13. Okay. Are you sure? Yes, ma'am. And so yeah, man, this is me, man. Live and in color, bro. Live and in color.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So as you're looking to wrap up the year, what are some things you're looking forward to?
Man, I think as I enter into this new phase of saying no to projects, um and saying yes to the right ones, um stewarding what I currently do have better. I am excited about what that's going to yield from a time perspective, because you know, and again, we kind of, you know, we're big supporters of the Eric Thomas stream of grind, you know what I'm saying, and knowing your why, you know, in different ET isms. And one thing that I've seen is there's a rhythm to that where you can work, you know what I'm saying, and get after it, um, to hit certain goals. However, you're a whole person, and whenever your soul needs rest, whenever your body needs rest, in my case, whenever your voice needs rest, you need to do so because you want to be able to sustain things for the long haul. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm most excited about, as you know, especially coming off of a month that's been more like a ebb month.
Mhm.
In terms of like cash flow and in terms of like new business, it's been really cool to see how, one of the platforms that I've done work for years and years and years, I actually like increased my prices like threefold because the price point that I was charging, I had a lot of volume of work, and it
Mhm.
was, you know, and it's a pretty amazing, you know what I'm saying, stream. But I learned how, it was starting to eat away at my perceived value of what I provide.
Mhm.
And now that I have, you know, a number of years under my belt in terms of like what I do, um, there's a certain value that I bring to the marketplace now um, that I just have to really go with that. You know what I'm saying? So it took a hit. You know what I'm saying? It cut revenue this month by a third by making that switch.
Mhm.
But what did come through that source were more high quality things that, that are in the vein of things that I want to be working on. And
Mhm.
so that's been really cool, man. So I'm excited about just finishing the year, experiencing, this, and also learning how to, just better steward everything better. You know, better steward everything better. Um, my daughter will be starting VPK here. You know, there's a month. You know, so she'll be doing like a VPK hybrid thing, which she'll still be doing homeschooling with my wife.
Mhm.
And then my wife, also, you know, is working as well. You know what I'm saying? She, just picked back up here over the last couple of weeks. And so as a family, we're going through this new season transformation thing. And so I'm excited, man, to see how we all grow, you know, because last year for sure, man, which is amazing. Like being in the house together, you know, I'm doing my thing. They're supporting me. I'm supporting them, you know, and I'm very high on the connectedness thing. You know what I'm saying? If you would like to do the whole, the um there's a there's a test, the Clifton Strengths Finders. And so I'm super high on the adaptability and connectedness. Like that's like one of my big drivers, right?
Mhm.
And so in this season, I'm excited about growing. You know, as, familially, you know, we've had to make some switches. You know, with some things for the betterment of everybody individually. You know, and so, that'll be fun, man. That'll be fun, and I welcome the challenge, and I welcome, um, yeah, man. Just kind of what's the comment? Because I know on the other side of this, 6 months after, you know, now we'll be able to look back and be like, you know what, that was an amazing pivot, and now look at where we are, you know. So yeah, man. Just a couple of things that I'm highly looking forward to. Of course, you know, I have a number of, audiobooks that I'm working on right now. In particular, I'm really trying to move more in the vein of faith-based, audiobooks. I just find that like because of how long you're literally narrating something,
Mhm.
man, how I feel, narrating things that are related to faith and belief and more trust in the Lord. I find that those projects are just for me, second to none, man. Second to none in terms of like how they feed me coming, because you're not only reading through the actual book, but
Mhm.
then you're actually narrating the book. And then for me, you know, I'm also mixing and recording, so I'm hearing it 4 or 5 times. You know what I'm saying? So if the content, um, yeah, man, if the content is strong like that,
Mhm.
it really permeates me in different ways, man. So I'm super excited about that. Um, I think, yeah, man, just continuing to offer massive value to those that I work with, and also learning what it's like to be more, uh, more visible. You know, I think on social media, I've been the guy behind the curtain a lot. I'm seeing how it's helpful for people to get to know me better.
Mm.
And so yeah, man. So I appreciate you, man, for having me on and just kind of leading in that process, man, over these next couple of weeks.
Awesome. You're welcome. Um,
Absolutely, my brother.
I guess that, as you said, I'm guessing, are you looking, are you available to take on new work, or that, as you said, you're kind of sorting that out, like the quality
Yeah.
of work versus the volume of it?
Yeah. So I am. I'm just seeing how it has to it has to fit,
Mm.
mainly because I'm seeing how, like, you know what, I back up a little bit. I also brought on one of my old students to do, you know, some of the edits for me and different things like that. And
Mhm.
one of the cool things um is that now I'm going from just like the practitioner to now like, okay, visionary, and having a set of processes and systems that now I can show somebody else, you know. And that's different for
Mhm.
me because I'm not like, historically, I'm not gonna say I'm not.
Mhm.
Historically, I haven't been a systems processes guy. I'm very much like, I want to paint, I want to create, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But in order to have a sustainable business, it's a must, you know what I'm saying? Because you will just be the practitioner and you will cap yourself, and you'll bottleneck yourself unnecessarily, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, definitely open to it. And if it fits, man, we can get it cracking and rocking and rolling.
Awesome. So I guess if a potential student or client wanted to reach out to you, how would they do that?
Yeah, man. Head on over to donaldthevoice.com or on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, Instagram and Twitter is Donald the Voice, and Facebook is Donald.the Voice. And let me know that you heard it right here on the It's My Time podcast. And I got you. I'll definitely take care of you. It's not gonna be no crazy steep discount, you know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
I got you. I got you. Hit your boy up for sure.
Awesome. Well, appreciate the time, and I hope you definitely get more students that you can work in there and they can kind of alleviate some of the burden. But I wouldn't say burden, but some of the work, and just being able to expand the range of work that you're getting.
Man, no doubt, my brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate your heart. And I've told you this offline, but I've been so impressed by your growth as an individual off of like the podcast stuff, and the ways in which you navigated through last year. I know, you went through some things last year professionally that were just tough, some pivots, but to see how from a work perspective, podcast perspective, work ethic perspective, how you have continued just to be authentically you. But then also, I've also seen the growth in you in different ways where, as a podcast host, you're just more at ease, more confident, and you're also just a whole lot more intrigued by people. And I think that in terms of having a really good podcast as a host, those are things that are super important because, at the end of the day, anybody who you have on is the star of the show, so to speak, man. So you do a great job, man, of showing the genuine interest in people, and so keep it up, man. Keep that curiosity, man, because it's definitely felt through the airwaves and through the video, my brother.
Thank you. I almost breezed past that, but thank you for bringing that back, because I think part of 2020, um, I was glad that we were able to talk offline, and you kind of really encouraged me to just say, "Hey, put what's been recorded out there."
Yeah.
And I think at the time that we're recording this might be the last recording for the year 2021. But it's like, man, it's a lot's changed, but um, really what stayed the same was kind of going back to being consistent, putting back the attention and time into what sparked the process, sparked the interest to begin with. So I've got to thank you for that, and thank you
No
for the
doubt.
recognition.
No doubt, my man. I think that as a creative, because I do it too, you know, we can overthink things, and whether it be imposter syndrome or whether it be whatever, you know what I'm saying, insecurities are. But I think that that there's nothing like, literally, I mean, I went back last night and I heard a podcast that I was on last year, and it's my first time actually listening to it like all the way through. And I remember when I was being interviewed, I was like, oh, okay, sure, I'll hop on and we can talk about me. You know, it's kind of, that's different, you know, because I'm so used to, you know, doing what I do. But I'm seeing how being able to document your process, and then being able to go back and hear certain things about like where you were, how you thought, how you view things, what things are still the same, what things are different. Bro, it is such a cool process because you really see your evolution, you see your growth, you see and hear some of the same things and nuances that you're still struggling with, and it really creates a real life, almost like a diary. You know what I'm saying, that you're able to go back and have, in a way that is very, in terms of history, man. Like, it's such a unique opportunity, man. So keep going, man. Even if it's, you know, even if you keep going for the experience of, you know, 10 years from now, being able to have hundreds of episodes that you'll be able to, you know, look through and listen through to how, like, to who you were. And it's just something really dope about that, man. So keep it up, my brother. Keep it up.
Awesome. Thank you, Donald.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you, man. And once again, man, I'm proud of you. And I like that you give me time to have my time on It's My Time podcast.
No doubt.
No doubt, my brother. I appreciate you.
Likewise. Take care.
All right, bro.
This is the It's My Time podcast with Asher Tchoua.